Happy Easter to you too, Patricia. Well, hello, bestie. How are you? At least the live is working better than it was last time. Couldn't even put it into subscriber mode. We couldn't do anything. Thank you, Limitless Queen. Hit that like button. Thank you very much. Elfie, you're going to see 21 Pilots? You know I like them. I like them a lot. That's going to be an exciting concert. Let me see. You manifested it, Rachel. You too, Rhonda. You must have manifested it, Rachel. That's what I think. I'm glad too. Hello, Beyonce, Shay. Hello. I'm having a day where you ever just have a day where your hair is just driving you crazy, and no matter what you do with it, you don't like it. That's my day today. Hence, why I gave up, halfway. Mid hairdo, I said, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. Can't stand it. Can't take it. So I booked a haircut appointment. Is that what it is, Beyonce? A sexy tussled. This is called mid meltdown hair. Meltdown. Mid meltdown. Oh, okay, Coco Nat. You're a funny one. Thank you, Rosa. You Wistful Raven, wait, I have had some of the craziest shit pop off. Well, I need to know what's going on. You know I'm nosy. I'm dying to hear. ECC5, thank you very much. I've decided I'm manifesting a relationship with someone who lives across the world from me and doesn't know me yet. I really want this. Please tell me where to start. I don't want to focus on how. Well, are you good? Good. You've already got that mindset that we do not need to focus on the how. And quite frankly, I wish everyone would just get right to that place of realizing we do not have to worry about that. And worrying about that does not feel good. And it just keeps us in a state of the version of ourselves that doesn't have it. So we should never want, I know that there's sometimes, and I've said this on their live streams, that, there is an innocence about I just wonder how this is going to unfold. I wonder what it's going to look like. And, it's like the way it feels when I think about that is I don't think there's anything wrong in being in that state. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to come up with the words to describe how it feels. There's no neediness. There's no desperation in that mindset. It's more of excitement and, thinking about experiences that you may have as this is unfolding. But it's because you're in the awareness that you are that self. You are in that reality, right? It's not really a questioning or being a version of yourself that is, in any kind of desperation. There's an innocence to it. And I think it's harmless. But when, thinking about the how is starting to stress you out, that's the problem area, right? But if I were you, I would be thinking about what it would be like to be the you that has it, that is in the relationship with that person, whatever that means, or whoever that person is. The things that you might do together. How do you think you would, start your day? What would life look like on a normal day of you being in a relationship with this person? And you don't necessarily, even, I'm saying, like, when you're even thinking about yourself as the version of yourself in the relationship, you don't even need to really be like constantly thinking about that person, right? You don't need necessarily to do that. And really just putting the focus on who you would be and what your life would look like as that, as you're in that reality, as you are that new version of yourself, and really looking at reality for what it is, right? As in, the moment you said yes to that desire, right? So you just decided this. So the moment you decided that you're going after this, try to think of yourself as you're not in manifester mode, right? You're not trying to manifest this. It's viewing it as you're already that person. And literally, from that exact moment, everything you're experiencing is moving, shaping, training you to be that version of yourself, the version in the relationship. Think of it that way. And that's what every moment is. All about your expansion, you evolving into that version of yourself. See what I mean? So that's what I would do. What would your life be like if you had it right now? How would you feel about it? Are you the version of yourself that can maintain a relationship? Are you the version of yourself that can accept love? And, you are the version that is aware that you are worthy and deserving of a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. And what that relationship looks like and what it feels like to be in that relationship. That's where I would go. I would be thinking about that stuff. I'm mad at my SP and I'm having a war within my head. Oh, well, stop fighting. Stop the war. Don't continue fighting with your mind. Because if you're just trying to be frustrated with yourself because you're thinking thoughts aren't favorable, well, we're not trying to deny our feelings. We're not trying to pretend we don't feel the way we feel, right? This isn't, hey, I know I'm manifesting this person, so I know I'm not supposed to be mad at them, so I'm afraid of focusing on, A, B, and C, and we don't want to do that, right? We don't want to be afraid. We don't want to think, oh my God, because I'm frustrated at SP, this is only going to manifest more garbage. We don't want to think of ourselves as being punished for also being human, right? But I would ask yourself, what are you upset about? And are you really upset about that thing? Or if we take that deeper look, is it just a reflection of a belief of a different version of ourselves that we are choosing not to be? See it deep, see it more deep. Do you see what I mean? Keep asking yourself, is it really that thing you're upset with? What's the meaning we're giving it? The Wishful Raven, thank you so much for the mood sticker. Did you put in here what's going on? Because I'm dying to know what's going on in your reality. Kim, I'm going to be your next video success story. Yes! Now that's the attitude. That is the attitude, Helen. Well done. And I believe it. I believe it. Beautiful bestie. Limitless Queen Batch, thank you very much. I stopped reaching out to SP because I know I deserve communication that is balanced. I am standing in my power no matter what is happening. Love you. Love you too. And good. Good. There's no need to chase. There's no need to beg that person to talk to you or interact with you or see you, right? There's no need to beg. You stand in conviction that you are this new version of yourself, and you really contemplate what it feels like to be a woman in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. Or for anybody else out there, if you're a dude, what it feels like to be in that relationship. Not what the 3D reality is telling you what the relationship is, right? Because if it's not what we want out here, we don't need our senses to give us the feedback of, a reality that was manifested by a different version of ourselves. We want to think of ourselves. Number one, there is nothing more important than knowing who you really are, as in source. Knowing the I am is within you, me, and everyone else on this planet. Knowing you are that consciousness first. And then from there, who are you? Who are you choosing to identify as? When we want a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship, then the version of you who would not be worried about the relationship, the version of you that wakes up every day expecting to be loved, to be wanted, to be chosen, to be committed to by your person, what does that version of you, what does him or her life look like? What does it feel like to be that person, the person that is no longer worried, the person that is no longer manifesting the relationship? And it's standing in that conviction of that version of yourself. It's like seeing yourself. The minute you want to manifest something, the idea is to allow yourself, again, there is nothing more important than knowing you are source first, right? That above all is the answer to everything. We might not be, maybe you're newer to manifesting, so you might not be at the full understanding of what that really means for you, but there's nothing better than starting to do your best to try to understand that and to quiet your mind. Quiet the mind and connect with the you, the observer, that is thinking the thoughts and really understanding how you are not those thoughts. So you think of yourself. Can you imagine yourself being a clean slate? No limited beliefs. No more stories. Just a clean, like the chalkboard has been wiped clean. And you think of yourself as, the version of you who is like getting a do-over. If we had past traumatic experiences, well, they're gone. They never happened. Just for a minute, you're just thinking about yourself as this slate that has been wiped clean. And you're getting to design this version of yourself right now. Because that version of you exists right now. And you're trying, in a sense, although I really don't love the word trying, but you're in a sense highlighting with your flashlight the version of you who has all the beliefs that are necessary to experience the relationship you want. And you keep giving that version of yourself your attention, your focus, while pulling your focus and attention away from 3D as best as possible. This is why I tell you that detachment is your best friend. The more you can detach from 3D reality. Detachment is not you pretending that you're not having hurt feelings or that you're not angry about the 3D. This is not you pushing feelings down. Detachment is doing your best to get into the understanding that you are not limited by what you may be experiencing in 3D reality. Detachment isn't forcing yourself to not think about what you're manifesting. None of this, or what I just described, is detachment. Just for the sake of trying to explain it, detachment is you are, in a sense, trying to separate yourself from the version of you who manifested the reality that you might currently have, as you are stepping into the new version of yourself, the version of yourself that has already manifested the relationship you really want, the relationship you would prefer to be in. You're, in a sense, learning to stop believing, stop aligning with that you don't have the thing you want. You're learning to start a new story for yourself. The story that you do have it, or at minimum, that you believe you will have it, that you believe you are the you that will experience it. That is also fine. So the less worked up you are over what reality is showing you, the better. Again, not pretending that you're not upset about something. In fact, it's you knowing that it's okay that in this moment you're upset about something, or that you're aware of what's happening in reality, right? It's not that we don't have to pretend that circumstances aren't happening. We don't have to do any of that. But in one sense, you're kind of bypassing it. By bypassing, I mean you're seeing the bigger picture. You're seeing that it doesn't matter what's happening in reality, really. It doesn't matter. I can get my focus and attention on what I would prefer. I can do that. I can do that with this mind of, and you can, everyone can. You can get yourself to focus elsewhere. And the more you focus elsewhere, the sooner this starts moving and changing and shifting. And what you want becomes clearer and clearer. Like a foggy picture, right? The foggy picture, the fog is starting to dissipate. And the clearer, the manifestation is right in front of you. Really, every single moment you're experiencing is stretching, shaping, moving, getting you into the self that will experience the full desire. This is why, this is my opinion, this is why that once the manifestation is right in front of your face in the physical reality, it is why you will be able to look back and see how every single moment was connected in the bigger orchestration to get you to be this new version of yourself. It really will all make sense. Everything I have ever manifested, I am telling you, the stuff that had my biggest focus, like specific person, money, things like that, when they fully manifested, there was no shadow of a doubt that I could clearly see how literally everything I experienced was somehow molding me into the me that could have the thing in front of me, that I could have the thing I wanted. So like my journey with my specific person, if the relationship I'm in right now had somehow manifested 5 years ago, I don't know that I would have been able to maintain it until I became this version of me. Do you see what I'm saying? So I might have had, manifested breakups during that time. Well, maybe not 5 years ago. Let's go back 6 or 7 years ago. But regardless, when I manifested them, they didn't make a lot of sense to me. But my hindsight, it's clear as day why they manifest. Clear as day. That made sense. It was moving, shaping, molding me to embody and maintain, or making that new state, that new version of myself, making that state dominant within me. And what helped, in my opinion, move things along was my conscious, convicted decision to detach from reality, right? And that detachment didn't mean I couldn't have emotions or feelings. Nope, I still had them. I still had days where I was irritable, upset, not liking the 3D, but it still moved me. It still was moving and shaping me to become the me I am now. The person maintaining the manifested relationship. It's always working with you, even when it feels like it's not. Oops. Flo Ramirez, thank you very much. My hours at work keep getting cut. I affirm every day for more hours, but my hours are even less for May. Feeling defeated. I need a zhuzh. Okay. I'm putting myself in your position for a minute. Is there a certain amount of hours you want? Is there a set? Or is it just you'd like to, make a certain dollar amount in your check? Because listen, May hasn't happened yet. May hasn't happened yet. You might see the calendar for May. You might have your schedule already, but that doesn't mean that schedule is permanent. And I don't care if there has never been a schedule change since you've been working at this place. If you start putting the focus on the version of yourself that worked the certain set of hours you're looking for, or got a paycheck of a certain amount, and that is becoming your normal, you start focusing on what it would feel like to have that experience, right? So again, you and I hadn't had a call, but let me just guess that you want to feel safe and secure. You want to feel relief when you think about, I'm assuming, your paycheck. You want to be happy with what is on that check. Or you want to think of yourself as, someone who is making a certain dollar amount each month, blah, 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 blah. Or seeing it that it's always on the increase. And you always get the hours you want. It's more of a dollar amount I need to make a month. Okay. So let's focus on that dollar amount and how you make that every month. No matter what happens, no matter what schedule is given to you, you make this dollar amount every single month. You start telling yourself that's who you are. And you spend more time seeing yourself as that version of yourself, despite what 3D might be showing you, despite what your senses, what your eyeballs are seeing. The fact that you already got the schedule does not mean it's permanent. Anything can happen. Anything. Somebody else could get sick. Somebody else could get fired. Something could happen where they need you to come and work more hours. We still got 2 weeks left before May starts. This could even happen like in the first or second week in May. Something can happen where there's an hours adjustment. I wouldn't focus so much on the hours. I would focus on the dollar amount. That's what I would do. So you always make this or better or more every single month. That's what I would do. So I remember when I was manifesting money, what I like to do is I like to think about what I was going to do with that money, where that money was going. Even if you're breaking it down like paying bills, I did it. I would put it down like, yep, this is what I did with it. This is what my bank account looks like, blah, 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 blah. Try not to keep your focus on you already having that schedule for May, I'm saying. And let's not, be telling that story that, oh my God, my hours keep getting cut, blah, 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 blah. No. You always make exactly what you want. You're always safe and secure financially. You always feel fulfilled financially. This is who you are. Now, the version of yourself who is really experiencing fulfillment or abundant in her finances, what do you think her life is right now? What do you think life would be like to be her? The girl that doesn't have to worry about money. The girl that, money is always coming to her, so there's nothing ever to worry about financially. In fact, you got so much money coming at you, you don't know what to do with it all. Because let's keep it real. Are you really upset about the lack of hours? Or are you more concerned about how much money you make from your income? I mean, if it's a job you absolutely love and you just love to be there, okay, fine. Focus on the hours. But if I were you, I would be focusing on that dollar amount and your financial freedom, your financial abundance. And watch the money start rolling in. And again, and yes, that could definitely unfold to more worked hours. See what I mean? Can you imagine if you got a raise? So the hours they gave you in May would be enough? Do you see what I'm saying? Anything can happen. So don't feel defeated. There's nothing to feel defeated for. Remember, we don't always see the bigger picture, right? There are no coincidences in life. We are all conditioned to look at, what's going on in 3D reality and make a judgment off of it. Whether we can feel safe and secure because this is happening. Oh my God, the paycheck went down. Oh my God, that means, what am I going to do? I can't live off this income, blah, 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 blah. That's where we're all conditioned to start looking. When it's the complete opposite of where we should go. Doesn't matter. Everything's going to be all right. Money is always coming in, right? You're financially free, or, you have such and such dollar amount in your bank account. You are always safe and secure, but financially, everything is okay. Thank you, Patricia C. It's going to be okay, Flo Ramirez. Make sure you come back and let us know so we can find out how it unfolded, what the orchestration was. Rob, thank you very much. Hi, Kim. When you talk about getting into a state and you say to ask yourself, how would it feel? Do you mean we need to feel a physical emotion? I find it difficult to make myself feel an emotion. No. Only if you associate the emotion to what you're manifesting. So in other words, do you have to force yourself to feel happy when you think about your manifestation? No, not necessarily. When Neville Goddard talks about feelings, he's talking about the feeling of like completion, the feeling of it's done, as in there's nothing left to do. So could we associate that with a feeling of satisfaction, relief? Maybe. But that's an individual thing. That's not everyone must achieve this type of thing. Manifestation is sincerely based off of you as the person. So things feel differently for everyone. So let's say you're manifesting money. I would tell you to think about what you want to experience. So we're just going to use like my idea of what you want to experience. And you want to experience, I want to have, $500,000 in my savings account. I want that feeling of I don't have to worry about money. Life is good. That would make me feel good. So then I would tell you to think about how the version of you who feels safe and secure that there's nothing to worry about with money, how would you, walk around in your reality? How would you feel about life as that version of yourself? So no, let me word it this way. How do you feel about yourself right now? If I was to ask you, describe yourself to me, who are you? And let's say you went through the list of who you are. And then I'm going to ask, are you happy? Do you feel satisfied? Does this feel normal to you? More than likely, the answer would be yes. So everyone has their own idea internally of what this is normal feels like. Calm, centered, neutral, the normal you. You want to think about what you're manifesting and kind of have that same feeling. Like, yeah, this is my new normal. It's my new normal to have, 500,000 in the bank or $1 million in the bank. It's my normal. What do I think that this is normal for me would feel like as the version of myself who has A, B, and C? Do you see what I mean? So like, if you were to tell me, I want to manifest being in a relationship with my SP. Okay. What do you think the normal, this is just my life, the person who's in a loving relationship with SP, the normal. Now for me, I associate the version of me who doesn't have to worry the other person is cheating or doing anything terrible. It's the version of me who can just feel relaxed, comfortable, secure. That this person feels the same exact way about me as I do them. That this person mutually wants to be in the relationship with me. That's my idea of what normal, this is my normal life feels like, is what I just described. But do you think that every single time I reminded myself of what state or what version of self I was, that I reached that calm, secure, centered? No, I didn't reach that feeling. Not every time. No, not at all. Sometimes I had feelings of excitement. The body follows. Let me word it like that. The body follows. So you'll get to a place where you might not feel anything while doing a visualization or doing your affirmations. So don't overthink feelings. When you hear me ask someone, what do you think it would feel like? For me, I'm only asking that because we all tend to already have ideas. I can't even say the word compartmentalized or something like that. I can't say it. Compartmentalize. I cannot say that word. Scratch that. Meanings. We all have our own meanings of what certain things in our life, what we think and feel about them. We all do. We're all individual. So when you're thinking about being the self that has this new thing, you might not have, a ready-made feeling state for that thing, but you have an idea of why you want it. You want it for a reason because you want to feel a certain way, right? So you might want money so you can feel secure. You might want to be in a relationship because you want to feel secure. You want to feel what it feels like to be loved. So in one sense, you're deciding what this manifestation is going to make you feel like. But it's not that you have to touch that feeling every single time you do a technique. I hope that makes sense. Thank you, Crystal. Double tap your screen. We should have 165. Thank you so much. That's all someone has to do to like it? Is they just double tap the screen? Come on, yo. Get those likes up there. Is that true, though? You only have to double tap your screen and it gives it a like? I did not know that. See, the tech stuff, I got to start saying that I am so good at technology. I know so much about technology. I only use this platform every single day, and I did not know that. Okay. Thank you to all of you that tapped. I can see the number went up. Thank you very much. It is true, Lauren. That is awesome. That is so cool. Well, I'm sorry, that has... Oh, look at the number going up. That just made my day. Night Snowy Owl. Thank you very much. Babs, thank you very much. Hey, sweets, question. When in Wish Fulfilled, do you need to be visualizing the end? Or is it just feeling that I am this new person whom has the ideal? Can you speak of what is in your mind exactly? Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I've had a mixture. And it manifested. In other words, I'm not someone that straight up visualizes. Although we think in pictures anyway, just bearing that part in mind that we do think in pictures, okay? So I'm not someone that ever sat down methodically and tried to conjure a scene that implies to me that I have what I want. I was someone that more worked on the fly because that's who I am naturally. I work on the fly, right? And if you don't know what that means, anybody out there, it just means I'm spontaneous. I am not someone you're going to lock down and forced into some structure. That's just not me at all. I want to record when I'm judged, if that gives you an idea. So because it felt good to me and didn't feel like I had to do this, I enjoyed thinking about who I am, right? Which was my manifestation technique, if you want to call it that, was when I worked out because it felt good to me. But what would come into my mind sometimes was like a quick flash of, he and I on a date, out to dinner. Or sometimes I would get a quick flash of him sitting on the couch and us kicked back watching TV. Sometimes all I got was a quick flash of me, just me. But I knew it was me who had the relationship. Now, he was not in that picture, but I knew that quick flash of me was the version of me that had it. I know maybe that don't make logical sense, but I knew it, okay? And I'm trying to think what else. Sometimes I would just be having conversations with what I thought was my higher self. It's what it felt like to me. So I would see a quick, and by the way, I'm not exaggerating. They were quick flashes. They were never scenes or pictures that I held on to. Like just blinking my eyes is making me that's what it was like for me. A quick blink, just like that. I know that sounds weird, but neurospicy people, you probably are understanding what I'm talking about because I'm neurospicy. So me hanging on to a visual is not going to fucking happen, right? So I would just have quick flashes again. And with the higher self, a quick flash of, don't laugh at me, but like billowy clouds and my higher self hanging out in that cloud. That's what I would see. But we were talking, me talking to her. I would have that. And just to make it make sense, it's because I was envisioning having that conversation with her, telling her that I got to the reality, that I did it. Girl, I did it. I finally did it. I finally understand what it feels like to me to be chosen. I understand what that word means now. I can feel that word in my body. I know that sounds crazy, but I could feel what chosen felt like for me. Just, by the way, as I said to the person I answered a moment ago, this is kind of what I'm talking about, how it feels like to be the version of yourself that has your desire. It will be an individual thing. That's why we should never tell ourselves that what we're doing is wrong or that we're not doing this right, because you might just be doing it right, but it's individual to you. So that's all I would have. And all of those things I just described to you were what felt like to me was my wish fulfilled. Evidence of my wish fulfilled. I hope that makes sense. There was nothing that I would say that, like, not one scene that I can think of was like guaranteed every single day that I would get that flash. No. I can confirm to you that I did not have the same picture every single time, which is why I know you don't have to have the same exact visualization every single time either. Unless, of course, you're trying to manifest so specifically to experience a particular event, then that's different. Then you want to keep using the same visual, but I wasn't doing that. So I think you needed the reassurance. Good. Well, I hope that that was helpful. Oops. Why can't I do that? What's the problem? There we go. I was trying to get that for Hitman, and maybe it's because somebody else already got it. Okay. I just want to say to anybody, no matter what techniques you enjoy doing, whatever it is that you do or that quantifies as what you believe is you thinking about your wish fulfilled, whatever signifies that for you, it is enough. It is right. I promise you that. Now, what you're doing with your mind outside of that might be a different conversation. But whatever visual you're using, whatever words you're using, if the visual or the words make you think, this is me in the wish fulfilled, or this means this is me having my desire, it doesn't matter what it is. If you believe that it equals that, then it equals that. That's really, I want everyone to know that. What I just described about my own scenario, that was the version of me who really kind of stopped paying attention to what anybody else thought about manifestation version of Kim. Okay? That was the year where I didn't want to even hear other people's opinion about conscious manifestation. And it is one of the reasons why I say, if you're watching 1,000 different coaches and you're feeling confused or you're frustrated because nothing seems to be working, that is one of the things that you're going to want to kind of curb down how many people you're watching. And listen, hand over my heart, I'm not saying that to make you only watch me. I can be one of the people you curtail and get rid of. That's fine. Hand over my heart, that's fine. But do yourself a favor and narrow down to how many people you're watching, because it's only gonna create havoc for you if you're not already comfortable and trusting yourself and what technique you're using or whatever it is that you do to manifest your desires. Okay? Because this community is so oversaturated, and everybody is a manifestation coach now. Be careful with who you're watching. You don't want to be filled up with a bunch of shit. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't want 1,000 different opinions on how to conscious manifest, especially if it's not someone who believes in being limitless. At least that is just my opinion, though. You don't want limited beliefs. You don't want somebody else's limited beliefs in your mind. And I'm telling from, sincere experience, just because I do coaching, I can't tell you how many people come to me and we have to work through getting rid of others' limited beliefs, especially the people that come from law of attraction community. No hate to law of attraction. No hate. But there's a lot of limits. And to make it easier, let me just say, you're limitless. You really are limitless. You're just coming into that awareness of being limitless. But you're limitless. And there is nothing, absolutely nothing is off the table to what we can manifest. Even if your logical mind doesn't buy that. Just saying. There are a lot of coaches that make me feel like I'm an idiot. I just watch you and one or two others. Oh my God. I hope you don't feel like an idiot now, though. I hope we got rid of that. I used to watch 10 different coaches, but now I only watch Kim. Oh, badge. Well, Rachel, I am glad that you commented instead of doing it. Good. I've had to unsubscribe to 3 others because of their limiting beliefs. No, I only watch. Well, to all of you saying that you only watch me, thank you so much. But you don't have to just watch me. Don't. I meant that, hand over my heart. Do what you got to do, but do what's best for you. Don't take on limits from others, okay? I know you're not deliberately trying to take on limits from others. I'm aware of that. I'm just saying. What's that word? Discernment. Have discernment. Night Snowy Owl again. Thank you very much. Last Sunday is my birthday and my SP wishes at exactly 00 a.m. And it surprised me because I don't expect he remember. But now it makes me miss his physical health. Now, no contact since my birthday, and I want to be pursued. Okay. Let's see. Well, first of all, happy belated birthday. Second of all, that was definitely movement. I hope you see it as that. That was wonderful movement. Your person clearly remembered it was your birthday. This is wonderful. It would behoove you to stop saying you're in no contact. Stop saying that. Let your super chat be the last time you use that wording. And just hear me out why. Because you are source, because you are pure, unadulterated consciousness, choosing to have a physical experience through your name, Night Snowy Owl. Because of this, your word is the word of source. So, and I didn't say that to scare you. I'm saying, so we want to start talking to ourselves more favorably. Now, not every word, not every thought manifests. That's why I'm telling you, you don't have to be too worried. But my suggestion is, you don't want to keep affirming to yourself, right? Thinking is affirming. You don't want to keep affirming to yourself that you are in no contact, especially when we want to be out of no contact. Because number one, it's impossible to be in no contact. Because we're all connected in consciousness at every given second. So you're still in contact with your specific person right now in this moment. Now, our logical human side wants to chirp in and say, well, if that were true, why isn't a specific person texting me or calling me or making some kind of contact? I understand that, but we don't control how things unfold. That's the part that's not always fun about manifestation, is we don't control that part. This is why we talk about detaching, meaning we no longer give the 3D the power it once had over us. So if you want to be pursued by your specific person, you start thinking of yourself as, well, the name is Night Snowy Owl. So I'm assuming I'm going to think of you as a girl for a moment. Okay. If you're not, fill me in. But you start seeing yourself as a woman who is being pursued by the love of her life, by her specific person. And what do you think that would feel like? What do you think it would feel like to know that this person is thinking about you, wants what you want, is in love with you, head over heels in love with you? What would that feel like to experience this? What if you understood right now, as I'm saying this to you, that the only reason why you're not experiencing that is because a part of you didn't believe that. A part of you didn't agree with that. A part of you wasn't aware that you're really in the relationship with them. Now, I know that sounds cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because our logic hears that and thinks, oh my God, well, sometimes I have fearful thoughts that I'm not in the relationship or that it won't manifest. Does that mean that that's the reason why I don't have it, Kim? No, chill out. You are every single version of yourself at all times, but your awareness can only highlight with its little highlight flashlight one version at a time. So when our 3D is showing us that we don't have what we want, and that is the perception we have of reality, then we know that our awareness is still highlighting a version of ourselves that doesn't think this is working. Now, notice I use the word perception. So that means if you're not seeing what you want in reality, but you have the perception that you know this is working, you know that everything you're experiencing is leading to your outcome, then you don't have anything to worry about. You keep doing what you're doing. Your perception of reality has already changed. This is good. So this is one of the reasons why, now let's circle back to why I say, no more saying you're in no contact. No more affirming that. No more agreeing with that. And it's not because you can't be aware that you haven't heard from your person. It doesn't mean that. You can be aware of what's happening, but we're not trying to keep that in our awareness. We don't want to keep telling that story because that's all we're ever doing. With our inner chatter, with our inner talk, we're storytelling. We're storytelling about ourselves, about our life. And our mind is always fact checking with 3D reality, which is why we stay aware of where our thoughts are going, of what we're consenting to as true. So we're not in no contact. You're a woman who is being pursued. You're a woman who is used to being pursued. That's your normal. That's what you've experienced your whole life, whatever, use the wording that feels good to you. It feels normal and natural for you to be pursued, to be loved, to be desired, to be cherished by your person. This is the new story that we're telling ourselves. This is who we are. And pretty soon you're going to get to a place where you don't even need to do techniques, because it feels so natural and normal to be that version of yourself. And chances are you'll be experiencing beautiful movement in the 3D like your birthday wish was. And you're going to notice that things really are changing in reality. And you're going to notice that you start feeling much better. You start feeling differently about reality in a good way. And then wham, bam, thank you, man. Manifestation is right in front of your face. So you're going to start focusing on being that version of yourself. Always remembering, though, that is just one highlighted version of you. Who you really are is source. Or you can look at it as beingness, your beingness, right? So, or your I amness. That's who you really are. Choosing to have the human experience of night snowy owl. But that's how you do it. So if you're manifesting a specific person, think of it as you are starting a new chapter in your book. And that new chapter is the chapter of who you want to be. And you're going to start storytelling in your mind with your inner chatter, with where you let your mind go, with what you choose to focus on. And in this new chapter, all we think about are the things that feel good to us about this loving relationship, right? So that we stop telling the stories that we're not together, we're in no contact, or they left us, or they never chose us. We stop those stories. So they stop showing up in our movie in the screen of space. Does that make sense? Oh my God, all of that was so zhuzh flowed. The feeling I have is the feeling I have when I record videos. And I just call it the zhuzh flow. It was wordy. I know it was. Lots of words. I'm sorry. I like that you using the word pursuit, Kim. I think a lot of people use the word chase. And I don't like to be chased because that means I'm running away from something and not in receiving mode. You know what? Can I just say, J. Cole, I love that you just put that comment in here because that just reminded me of a very important thing. When you are talking to yourself or thinking thoughts, when you're talking to yourself, thinking thoughts, thinking of, the visuals, scripting, the life you'd like, or maybe you're scripting or affirming the who you want to be, the who you want to be aware of being. That the words you choose, they don't have to be the carbon copy words that you hear people in videos using. So I love that Jay put this in there because this is an excellent example on when a word don't feel good to you. Now, let's say I had just answered Night Snowy's owl with the word chase. Your person's chasing you. The person's loving you. Now, Jay would have heard that and think, ugh, I don't like that word. I don't like that word chase. That gives me a yuck feeling. Well, she didn't say yuck feeling, but I'm saying yuck feeling, okay? That's an automatic don't use that word then. Because that word doesn't mean something zhuzhy for you. So don't use it. Right? Because we're trying to manifest exactly what we want to experience. Not words that mean something yucky to us, right? Another one is obsessed. Some people love that word obsessed. Other people don't. I used to make fun of that in my older content. Just be aware. If you haven't watched older content, maybe don't, because that was a super sassy version of myself. But I used to think it was ridiculous because we would argue. People would make videos warning us not to use the word obsessed. It means stalker. And I used to laugh at that. And I would make videos laughing my ass off of how stupid that is. You just don't use the word if you don't like it. But obsessed doesn't mean the same thing to everybody. So like Jay, she doesn't like that word chased. She likes pursued. Pursued gives her the good zhuzhy feelings. There you go. Just some nice, healthy pursuing, please. See, that's the word that feels good to her. So to her, chasing feels yuck. I don't like that. That is not healthy. I don't want to be chased. See, she is aware of the meanings of her words, of what words mean to her. Well done, Jay. But going back to the obsessed. Obsessed does not mean bad things to me. Obsessed does not mean stalker to me. To me, obsessed is, oh my God, he's so in love with me. He just wants to be with me. He wants to spend the rest of his life with me. He feels like I do. This is fun. This is exciting love. That's what it means to me. When I hear that word obsessed, that's what I think of. A mutual love and passion for each other. But to some people, it means stalking terrible things. Stalkers. Use the words that feel good to you. Use the words that feel good to you. Crystal, same. Yes, I do. I like obsessed. Love it. I used to use it regularly, especially when I was like a daily scripter. Good obsessed, not bad obsessed. Exactly, Miss Dana. Exactly. But it is such a good thing, though, to be aware of what words mean to you. You know what I mean? Not to mention you gotta fit in. Sometimes we have slangy words. So we give different words different meanings. It's all in what it means to you, the individual. That's what matters. So that was a fun conversation, wasn't it? I thought so. Amy F., thank you very much. My SP is back in my day today. Getting there. But financially, I'm defeated and angry. Oh, I worked so hard for so long, but have fallen back in the old story. Any hype for me? Yes. Perhaps you are right about to stumble into a whirlwind of abundance, Amy. Perhaps you're about to somehow, some way receive a very large lump sum of money. Maybe a large raise. Not what your logical mind might think is possible for you, but perhaps that's what's happening. And you're noticing that old shitty beliefs are coming up into your awareness. They're giving you the feelings, the yuck feelings, because it's time for you to transcend them. Listen, I wholeheartedly believe that when we want to experience something, because the answer is always yes to what we want, we are being trained, kind of like working out at the gym, trained. We're in training. So in other words, let's say, I'm trying to think of a good analogy. Let's say that you're going to be in a weightlifting competition. And you're going to start training for it. Well, you already know you are the version of yourself who is going to be in the training competition, right? So you would start training for it, getting your body into lifting weight mode. But you already know that you're going to have the experience. You already know it's going to happen. But you're training for it. You're getting ready for it. And sometimes when we work out, the muscles hurt a little bit. And you take a rest day. Or you work a different body part and move on. Then you circle back around, right? Okay. Same thing. Same thing. So when we feel that discomfort, when we are choosing to be the abundant, wealthy, financially well off, and free from the anxiety of worrying about paying bills version of us, that when we experience that discomfort, those are moments that we need to remind ourselves of who we are. Why are we feeling uncomfortable? Well, because a belief is popping up and coming in the forefront of our mind for us to transcend. So you're being stretched, like your muscles are stretching. Your muscle is being stretched as you are expanding your awareness, as you are rising in consciousness. Not because this is your new normal to fall back into old patterns financially. Quite the opposite. Your body is being trained, but it's your conscious awareness. It's being trained. It's being stretched so that you can be the version of yourself that can handle being wealthy, handling money. I don't know. What do people do with monies? So you can donate to good causes, so you can build the wealth and invest. So you're being stretched and trained. You could also think of it as, is your higher self testing you? Now, listen, don't anybody brand new think that you're really being tested by anybody. You're not really being tested. But I find it more beneficial to think of it as you are being tested. Are you going to pass? Are you going to go back to old self and allow that 3D to tell you that you're a financial bag of shite? When who you want to be is the version of yourself who has plenty of money. You are amazing financially and you are good with money. In fact, you are financially set for the rest of your life. But that is a version of yourself. There is a version of you who is financially set for life. So who is that version of you? Is that the version of you who looks at a bill and starts panicking? Probably not. Is that a version of you who looks at her bank account and starts worrying because a lot of money was just taken out of it? Probably not. The version of you who knows that money is always there, money is always coming to you, and it is absolutely your normal to be rich as hell, not stressing it. So tap into her. And I just have to say, I have shared before that, listen, I have had countless experiences of kind of feeling like I'm getting hit in every direction right before I seem to have a conscious leveling up and reality turning into something friggin' amazing. I have felt that or had that experience more than once, which is why I do like to look at it as, am I just being tested for my next leveling up? Is that what's happening? Because we're going to be doing this leveling up process our entire life. And I don't mean it like, oh, so be prepared for things to go shitty. Be prepared. I don't mean that. Things don't have to go shitty. They don't. Leveling up doesn't mean reality has to be terrible. That's definitely not what I mean. I'm just saying, I've had the experience of feeling a little bit uncomfortable along the journey, especially when I feel like I'm being attacked from all sides or all areas of life. And then boom, mega amazing, wonderful reality in front of me. I've had that more than once. Which is why, Amy, I think you should look at it that way. Holy shit, you have landed in the reality where you are a rich bitch. And you are in the midst, well, look at it as you are supposed to be transcending these fucking fears. Do not claim to be an old version of yourself or that old beliefs are coming in and ruining things. No. This is a leveling up, bitch. Big money's coming. Comfortable money is coming. That's what I think you should be doing. So there's nothing to feel defeated and angry about. Right? At every given moment, we are being trained in a sense. I know that wording sounds weird, but we are. Your desire, someone already said yes to your desire. Who is that someone? You. Your I amness. The moment you wanted it, you are welcome, Amy. The moment you wanted it, the answer was yes. So from there, you've been getting into position of being that self. You're being trained, you're being stretched, you're getting your new outfit on for that reality. So everything you're experiencing is about molding and shaping you to be the version that can have or can experience the thing we're manifesting. You're being molded and shaped. So we are transcending these fears, my friend. We're transcending it. Okay? Miss Dana DiLorenzo, thank you very much. Hi, Kim. On vacation and seeing just how far I've come. Everything that would have ruined my vacation in the past turned around in less than 20 minutes. Spinning it positive or giving it no meaning. I would give it the meaning of, holy shit, have you leveled up? Holy shit, have you gotten amazing at this? Holy shit, you really are your new self. You really are in that new reality. It's why you're so easily able to snap back into the wish fulfilled if you feel like you have fallen out, or if you feel like something in reality is trying to be a little gnat or a little fly or a fruit fly buzzing around you, trying to irritate you. Look at you being a master manifester. That's the meaning I would be giving it, because it's the truth. Chat GPT hypes me too, I'll be honest. That's why I love it. That's why I love it. It's like having a free friend. Well, that sounded terrible. A free friend. Friends should be free. But it's like having a free coach? I don't know. A free friend. That just sounded terrible. Grace Mars, thank you very much. Kim, I got ghosted after the best first date of my life. I said, fuck that. And told myself, I don't know how, but this is perfect. He came back literally on his knees begging for it. F those circumstances. F them circumstances. Listen, well done. Well done standing in your conviction, my friend Grace. Well done. Do you see what happens when you choose to stand in conviction of who the hell you are and see what happens to reality when you double down in conviction? When you return to your decision that you are who you say you are. I'm not surprised that happened. Well done. Well done. I am very proud of it. That's success story talk. That's a success, Grace. I'm very proud of you. That is an excellent example of how when reality looks absolutely horrible, we return to our decision. We double down in the conviction that we are who we say we are, and watch reality mold and rearrange to confirm. Well done. And it all happened in less than a week. Mic drop. Well done, Grace. Well done. I love stories like that. Monica N., thank you very much. Hey, Kim. I messaged a while ago for a job. Update. I have 5 interviews lined up with over 100K salary. So thanks. 1 is my dream job. How can I step into already having it? Also, can you do a masterclass for getting rid of 3P XOXO? Love you. Yes, I can, to the getting rid of 3P thing. Well done. And let's start talking to ourselves like you already have the dream job. You're already there. You already got it. So it's time to start thinking about what a morning routine of the version of you, I just say morning routine because that's easiest for me to think of. What does the morning routine of the version of you who works at this new wonderful place that you want to be? So in the mornings when you're getting yourself ready for the day, think of yourself as getting ready to go to that job, or to be online with your laptop at that job, whatever it requires. You see yourself as already having it. You think about how awesome your life is with this new job and what a master manifester you are. That's what we do, Monica. Think about the outfits you're going to wear at your new job. Really think of it as every time you imagine a day in your life with whatever it is you're manifesting. So for you, the career choice, every time you allow yourself to think of being there, you are in that reality, right? We kind of blow it off our imagination like, yeah, I'm just fantasizing about it. No, you're not. No, you're not. Imagination is what? That is, as Neville Goddard has really done an excellent job explaining, the imagination is the Christ. The imagination is your God connection or your universe connection. That's what it is. It's not fantasy. We've all been conditioned wrong. It is not. So get in to the imagination =, getting into that reality. So what would a day in your life look like? What would a day in your work day look like working the job you want? Imagine yourself coming back to a live stream of mine telling everybody how you got the one you wanted. You got the job you wanted. Imagine yourself clickety-clacking in the live chat telling everybody, success story, bitches, I got the job I wanted. Imagine that. Think about getting into your imagination. Come into a live stream. Come into a live stream. Okay, on that note, I must go. I must go because it's only going to stay chaotic here and louder because my boyfriend's home from work and the dog's going to go crazy, as you're hearing. So, I love you all. Thank you very much for being here with me this early evening, late afternoon. I appreciate you all. Hot seaters, I'll see you in the morning. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? I don't think so. Okay. I love you all. I'll see you all tomorrow.